Greetings, fellow humans. I'm MartianBuu, and today's pocket video is on Machamp EX. Machamp EX is kind of a cool attacker because it has high health and it does a lot of damage without having to discard any energies or deal damage to itself. So dealing 120 is pretty good for Pikachu EX, obviously, but it's also just a Giovanni away from knocking out Starmie EX or Zapdos EX. The rest of the deck is just here to support it. So we have Onix, which is a favorite attacker of mine because when you use Brock, it's basically just 2 for 70 on an 110 HP basic, which is a pretty good deal, but it's also an 110 HP basic. So while you're powering up your Machamp and trying to evolve it on the bench, it's a meat shield basically active that can take a couple of hits and protect your Machamp while it gets ready to deal knockouts. We do have a Hitmonlee in here. Ability to damage the bench is pretty premium in this game. There aren't that many Pokemon that can do it well, and Hitmonlee is one of them. The fact that it has 1 retreat cost makes it especially appealing because you can just X-speed it out of the way if it's not the right time to be attacking with Hitmonlee. But basically, if you've dealt enough damage to a Pokemon to almost be able to knock it out, your opponent can't just retreat it to the bench and have it sit there safely for the rest of the game. You can play Hitmonlee, bring it up, and snipe it on the bench for 30 damage to finish it off. I actually felt like Machamp is probably one of the better partners for Onix that I've tried so far. Certainly better than Marowak, who's so unreliable. But yeah, as far as a partner for Onix Brock, I think Machamp is one of your best options. I hope you enjoy the games, and thank you so much for watching. All right, I have Brock. That's pretty cool. Brock to attach energy to my big rock. Brock onto my rock. Rocka Brocka. Alright, now I have 2 Machoke, which is twice as many as I'd want. So at least there's that. If we top deck the other Brock, you know, we'll be cooking next turn. We will be cooking. My opponent is running the new funny Pikachu mat, which is still pretty distracting, but not as distracting as some of the others. I tend not to like the mats in this game. It's too hard to see the cards on them. Hey, Machamp. What a Machamp. It's too bad all these energy have to go in the Onix up front. Are they going to hard retreat that Vulpix? Because I will gladly Sabrina it back up. Give the old land crush. You know what I mean. Knock it out before it becomes a super scary Ninetales. If I could top deck a Brock, I would be so happy. I would be the happiest Martian. But it wasn't to be. So I guess my big plan is to knock out this Vulpix, let them knock out this active Onix, and then also knock out my just for stalls Onix, and finish them off with a Machamp in a minute. Did I switch games? I might still be on Pokemon Live. Yeah, I am. Here, let me switch it. Let me switch it to Pokemon Pocket. Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. Wow, now everyone knows. Oh no. Don't do it. That hurt my feelings. Well, I guess I'm all in on this Machamp. Hopefully they don't Sabrina me up now, because then it's just gonna be up. If they Blaine knock out Onix here, that's fine. because the Ninetales can only do 90 once to the Machamp before the Machamp knocks out the Ninetales. And then they won't have any energy in play on a second Ninetales. Well, I already knocked out the Vulpix anyway, so I guess that doesn't matter. But they won't have anything in play that can deal the other 90. Right? Like, the most they can deal after that is 40. They've already used 2 Blaine. So they just lose from here every time. Unless they're running super special bonus tech that I can't even think of. What could they run? Literally nothing? Just Mega Punch him down? Wow. As a Marshy fan, you love to see it. Let's go, Rapidash. Show me what's up. Show me your super special secret attack. Remember that one episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! From a million years ago? You guys watch Yu-Gi-Oh!, right? Everyone does. Of course, everyone will watch every episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! That I've ever seen. But there's this one episode where Yugi was facing the facing the ghost of Seto Kaiba. And it was really someone pretending to be the ghost of Seto Kaiba. And the Yugi puts out this, like, it's mystical elf or whatever it is, and I forget exactly how it plays out, but the mystical elf does something. The mystical elf is basically a Chillwind Yeti, right? Like, it's stats and that's it. That's all that there is on the card. It has no effects, and it does something that I think involved a healing life total or something like that, but it's been a long time since I've seen the episode. I was a kid. But Yugi just does this thing for free that the card cannot do, right? It never does this. And he's like, that's a strategy that was developed by the real Seto Kaiba. Yes, cheating is a strategy that was developed by Seto Kaiba. That's canon. So yeah, you're right. Like, making up stuff that a card can do, sure, yeah. That Kaiba is like, oh yeah, this extra special mystical elf mystery effects, yeah, that's a cool strategy I came up with. All right, we have a Brock in hand. Good for us. We're going first. Bad for us. But you know what? I can only complain so much, so I'll stop it there. We're up against the Blaine deck again. Back-to-back Blaine. My biggest complaint was stage 3 Pokemon right now. Do you mean stage 2 Pokemon? Is that what you mean? I think it is. My biggest complaint with stage 2 Pokemon right now is that I go through all that work to get it ready and my opponent usually concedes before I get the satisfaction of attacking. Aw, bummer. You're talking about live? I think it really depends on the one you're playing. Because, like, Charizard and Dragon Ball get to attack a lot. Oh, in pocket? You know, I'm actually going to just start attaching to this Machoke, because I'm not going to, like, they have a Vulpix with an Energy Audit active. So that thing is going to get to attack next turn. And I don't want to attach an extra energy to the Onix and have it get knocked out with a Blaine from this Vulpix. And, like, even if I could have powered it up, it's not like Land Crush one hits Ninetales, so I think the play was just not to bother. Let me so pleased that, like, if all they do here is swing with Flamethrower, okay. Should I risk it, chat? I'm kind of tempted to just send up the Machamp, but then if they have a Giovanni or a Blaine, they just get to knock it out. All right, I'm just gonna let this Machamp chill in hand, I think. I don't mind if they Sabrina, right? Because if they Sabrina, they don't knock it out. I do mind if they red card and I have to redraw those X speeds. Play your other plane. Trust. They didn't have it. Which is fine. I guess if you're my opponent here, you... probably want to X speed into a Rapidash, maybe? That'd be pretty good for them. Not that good though, right? Like, be really nice if I could get my other Sabrina, because then once the Machamp comes up, I can knock out either Ninetales or Rapidash, whichever one it is. Then I can Sabrina around the Moltres for my next point, and Sabrina around the Moltres again for my final point. So, I think... oh! They're just gonna let it chill, huh? They're already sufficiently afraid of the Machamp EX. We don't need to... They have X speed. They're actually in a really good spot here, aren't they? They have X speed. Oh, okay. Kind of cool. So I guess what I'm going to do then is I'm going to Sabrina. Okay, so what they want to do is they want to knock it out with the Rapidash so that they can flamethrower me twice in a row with the Ninetales, right? I come up, knock up the Rapidash, they flamethrower me once with the Ninetales, and then after I knock out that, they come up with the other one and hit me again. But so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to Sabrina for either I get to knock out one of those Ninetales or I get to knock out Moltres, right? So this is bad news for me if they happen to have... I mean, I probably shouldn't be doing this. I don't know. I was thinking, like, after this is taking a hit, I can retreat for it. Oh, this is a little scuffed. A little scuffed, chat. If they have X speed... If they have X speed, all I can do is bring up Rapidash, though. Because they've already used one. They have to attach active. So I think this is checkmate, probably. I love it when a plan comes together. I'm here for the streamer and the pretty colors. That's what's up, Shmoopy. Did I see that League of Legends is getting a physical card game? Are they really? Because that's hilarious. I don't think I'm ever going to play a Lorcana expensive card game again. That's my big opinion. I think it has to be Pokemon expensive, right? Pokemon is kind of dirt cheap, right? Whereas, like, Lorcana, my friends and I were looking at that Star Wars game yesterday, and it's Lorcana prices, like, for a good deck. You know, you need $200 to $300. Whereas... you could play Pokemon for 30, right? So anyways, if that comes out and I can pay Pokemon prices to put a deck together, I'll definitely try it. But I'm never gonna like go all in on a card game for, you know, $200 to $300 a deck like Lorcana made us do. You know, just too much. Going first, stop it. I don't want to go first. You go first. Great Test has a case if we're ignoring Mildred's ability to win the video game. Okay, so like, so I was asked what the Mildred deck is of Pokemon, And so, like, I don't know. I guess, like, even Snorlax isn't even a great comparison, right? Like, Snorlax is kind of the hostage mage of Pokemon. The actual amount of mill strategies in Pokemon aren't really that many. Like, or rather, like, full-out mill strats in Hearthstone aren't that many. What Mill Druid in Hearthstone really does is a bunch of Druid stuff, and then they just Druid all over you, and part of that package ends up being Mill, so that they can, like, win the late game or, like, never run out of gas or something like that. Whereas Great Tusk is a very dedicated Mill strategy, right? So Great Tusk does 2 for mill your opponent's top card, and if they oh, too bad I don't have a Giovanni here. Oh, I'm asleep. Never mind, doesn't matter. Nothing matters. If they want to evolve into Wigglytuff and Giovanni, I think I'm okay with that. All right. If you've played an Ancient supporter on the same turn in Mill 4 instead of Mill 1. So, that is a very dedicated Mill deck. That's not doing anything. That's not, like, preventing your opponent from doing stuff. That's not, like, getting absurd health totals. That's not anything that the Mill Druid deck does. It doesn't do, except it burns cards. And it doesn't even, like, draw itself a bunch of cards in the process, right? Like the Mill Druid deck does. The Mill Druid just never runs out of gas because it keeps drawing cards for itself. Chat, I think I have to Sabrina here. Because if my opponent either sends up the Magneton or sacrifices the Pikachu, they can't Lieutenant Surge knock out Machoke next turn. Which is exactly what's going to happen if I just let it ride. So we'll Sabrina now. Kind of surprised they didn't send this up. Now they have to find a Pikachu again. Maybe they will, I don't know. So anyways, yeah, I think that, like, as far as inhibiting frustrations and the stage of the game when the deck starts to actually do any milling, I think the Snorlax deck is a lot closer to Mill Druid is in Hearthstone. Like, if you're watching this and you're just playing Pokemon Pocket, you have no idea what I'm talking about right now. But so the Snorlax deck in Pokemon Live is the Snorlax has an ability that your opponent's active Pokemon can't retreat while it's active. So what you're trying to do with it is you're trying to get your Snorlax active and then continually bring up your opponent's benched Pokemon that can't actually damage the Snorlax. So, and then you sit there. Like, once you've successfully done that, you wait until your opponent manages to get that active Pokemon back to the bench, right? And you keep doing that over and over and over again until your opponent runs out of ways to switch their active Pokemon anymore. And then you start to slowly, like, use Misfortune Sisters to, like, mill away your opponent's item cards and wait for them to run out of ways to replenish their deck while you keep replenishing your deck because your deck is built to do that. So just, like, slowly over the course of 10,000 years, your deck sizes whittle down until the Snorlax player has a bunch of cards and the victim loses by deck out, right? So that's a lot closer to the Druid deck. The Mill Druid deck in Hearthstone tries to first win by just doing stuff, like much more similar to what the Snorlax does, where it just kind of, like, inhibits the opponent's game plan, sets up a bunch of, like, extra health to buy time, and then you technically are going to win by mill eventually, but your opponent concedes before that actually happens. That's, like, you know, the comparison I think is a little bit better. Whereas, like, the Great Tusk deck just goes right for the deck. It goes right for the deck. It tries to mill your opponent before your opponent can take 6 knockouts on the Great Tusk. Go first, coward. All right. See, yep, I'm first. It's good. Might be a similar name, or it was morning here, so maybe yesterday. Anyway, I like to watch TCG Pocket streams. Nice, nice, cool. I play Pokemon to forget about that time Malfurion drew it all over the place. Yeah, I guess we all do. Deep down, I think we all do. Alright, this is a start of all time, chat. Should I play this Hitmonlee? I hope this Hitmonlee becomes relevant in any of these games. Like, I could see how it would be good to have it, right? So, like, the Hitmonlee lets you do 30 damage to the bench. And this deck, like Pokemon Pocket, doesn't have boss's orders, and it doesn't have good bench damaging stuff. So, like, if something escapes with most of its HP gone, Hitmonlee is how you're gonna, you know, find it and boop it. But, you know, that's a very specific scenario for Hitmonlee to be good. So I feel like the most likely case where we get to see Hitmonlee in action is I'm forced to start with it at some point, and I start chipping away at the bench just because. we brockin', yeah. Maybe Pidgeot Control is a better comparison. Pidgeot Control is a lot more proactive, I think, than a lot of those mill decks. Like, it does a little bit of the stalling and stuff, but not nearly as much. I feel like, you know, I don't know what I'd compare that to in Hearthstone, honestly. But yeah, like, the Pidgeot Control also has a very adjustable game plan, right? You run a smorgasbord of various attackers to attack against specific decks. So what you actually do with the Pidgeot Control deck varies in a way that I don't think the Mildruid deck does. I love that you have a background in Pokemon TCG and can compare this game to the original and then translate it to Hearthstone for us. Yeah. I guess so. Alright, chat, are we about to get riggedy wrecked by a Dragonite? Because I do not have a backup attacker here. Alright, here's my plan, alright? They don't have Dragonite. They literally never have Dragonite. Alright, they don't even have it in their deck. They haven't heard of Dragonite. They're not even sure what Dragonite really is. So they're going to sit there as a Dragonair. I'm going to Sabrina to them to the bench, and then I'm going to get to stretch kick them for 30, right? For the knockout. And of course they have Dragonite. But now they only ever deal damage to my bench Onix. 200 straight to the bench Onix. I'm ready. Who's ready? Who's ready? 200 straight to the bench Onix. Do not pass go. Do not collect $300. Our main Onix, Machamp, and Hitmonlee all survive. Easy peasy. Oh, at least it wasted extra damage on the active thing. Well, sending up this doesn't help me, right? The Onix, that doesn't help me at all. So I guess I send up Hitmonlee. See, this is the problem with Hitmonlee, right? Like, I can't actually do any proactive damage to the active that I need to do it to. Top deck Machamp? Ooh. Alright, chat. All my opponent has to do is they can't knock out two things, right? If they knock out two things, I'm toasty roasty, but I guess ideally all 200 would go to the Onix, or 150 to the Onix and 50 to the Hitmonlee, or 200 to the Hitmonlee. I don't know if there's a world where we get to keep our Machoke is the problem. Ooh, we might win this if they don't win this turn. Whoa! Alright, this is the problem with the Dragonite, right? Like, sometimes you just get hosed. Like, there's my opponent has no earthly business losing this game, right? Yet they're going to. Because Dragonite decided that he didn't want to hit the right thing at the right time. Oh, there actually is a world where they still win, right? So as long as the energy after this one is a lightning energy, we could just never draw Machamp. And that would be a problem. Don't be a lightning. Oh! Oh, we have an extra turn. Because the Dragonair needs water, lightning, colorless, right? So they need a lightning in order to be able to hit. All right, we're still in it, chat. We're still in it. Of course, now, well, we don't need to top deck Machamp this turn, as long as they don't play Potion. Oh, but we got it, so we're fine. Good, 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 good. Good, 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 good. GG. But like, we could go 50 and 120 if we drew it next turn. It's just, they couldn't have Potion. Like, if they had a Potion, then we lose at that point. But yeah, now we win 100%, right? There's nothing they can do other than cry, be really sad. Martian using pure skill to outmaneuver the opponent. What can I say? What can I say, chat? I played to my outs, all right? Which is hoping and praying that Dragonite was going to be scuffed. And of course, as usual, Dragonite is scuffed. My opponent is playing the Pikachu deck, which is something. You know, in theory, this would be a good matchup for me because the whole deck is weak to fighting. In practice, I don't think it is because their deck is much more consistent, much faster. And I started with Hitmonlee. Ooh. Oh. I have the Machoke in hand, so I kind of want to just like not worry about attaching to this Hitmonlee and just using it as a meat shield while I set up my Machop. They end up attacking to Zapdos. I don't know. I was considering maybe trying to Serena up and knock out that benched Voltorb, but obviously it's not a Voltorb anymore. But I would have so imagine that they didn't play Zapdos on the bench and they didn't evolve Voltorb. Then I could have Sabrina'd and for sure gotten the Voltorb, evolved to Machoke, attached and been able to strength for 50 plus 20 to knock out the Voltorb. But then they would have come up with Zapdos, which would have then had 3 energies on it, and they only need half their heads to be able to knock out the Machoke. So I think I would have exposed myself to possibly losing the game on the spot, whereas I think in this situation I never lose. So they could red card me and get my Machamp and or my Giovanni away, in which case I'd be in trouble. But as long as they don't have it, I think we just get them. Raikou V seems to be a popular deck. It's like a Miraidon deck in the live deck, like Pokemon Live or paper Pokemon. But yeah. So yeah, it's a big part of it. Okay, Martian, I have one question for you. Lay it on me, Gaming Den. Show me the tails. Actually don't, right? Nah, it's fine. It's fine either way. Because we have X speed in hand. Oh my goodness. We're terrible at this, but it was enough. You know what? I take it back. You know, they were saving some luck for later. Chat, the way that I have my camera set up, does it seem like I'm a little short? Like, why do I have it with so much dead space at the top? Well, I'm slumping down, right? Now do I look tall? Do I look tall now that I'm like way up here? Here comes the Mega Punch, chat. Mega Tall Punch. Wow, got the Zapdos. I'm having a tournament in 45 minutes. Do you want to join and bring a viewer with you? Prize for first place. What is the prize for first place? How many rounds is it? Does it cost me money to enter? Well, it's Tall Boo or Super Boo. That's me. You're scared of me now? Uh-oh. You look like you're 8 feet. No entry fee, just a small, and you get an EBT and booster packs. For first place? Oh, just a smile. I see. Oh, it's shiny as in holofoil. Okay, shiny as in holofoil is different. Okay, so I was thinking, like, I was thrown off by the term shiny, because that means something specifically. So it would depend on the Charizard. I mean, a lot of the ones that aren't shining are also just worth a lot by nature of being Charizard. Marshy going second, and which means I get to attack for 20, then for 50, then for the other one. Do you have a favorite card in the TCG and a favorite artwork? Don't say Houndoom Prime, please. I think so. Separately, I think it's so funny that the Houndoom Prime has become popular recently. So there's this one meme picture of a dog that's doing like, you know, like that face, and the and someone just discovered that Houndoom Prime from, you know, like 15 years ago or something is also making that face. So like it's making the meme dog face. So suddenly Houndoom Prime has gotten a lot of attention. And I went and checked on TCG Player, and like it's not like it became worth a crazy amount all of a sudden, but it, you know, like it went up like 15 bucks after people started like showing interest in it. And so anyways, I just think it's funny that people just discovered that card, but no, it's not a favorite of mine. My favorite card mechanically is Mega Gardevoir, the one that's both Fairy and Psychic type. So its attack is for a Fairy and a colorless, deals 70 plus 10 for each of your bench Pokemon that you discard when you use the attack. So what's cool that you can do with that is use a bunch of, when it enters the bench, effects, and like fill your bench with a bunch of Pokemon that like have already, like, as soon as you've played them, that's as good as they are, right? You never intend to attack with them or evolve them or anything. And then you clean up your bench with the Gardevoir attack, right? Like if you put like 5 of those on your bench and then discard them all, then you've done, oh no, it was 2 for 110. So yeah, you do 2 for 160 at that point. And that frees up your bench for you to shuffle those back into your deck and then replay them to get extra benefit out of it. I found the Houndoom art, it's very funny, yeah. So like I really liked that play style. I thought that was really fun. So that's my favorite card mechanically is Mega Gardevoir EX, the Psychic Fairy one. And my favorite card art, I think there are too many that I love. Like I really love the Umbreon and Espeon from Neo Discovery. Those are favorites of mine. The one that like I covet the most is Crystal Lugia, and like that's like one of the only cards that I want just to have it. I had a lot of nostalgia for it as a, like I really like the e-card template, and the card itself looks beautiful. And I really wish I'd bought it when it was like I had an opportunity to buy one and when it was 20 bucks, and I kind of put it off till later, and now they're worth like way more than that. So as I'm selling old cards from my collection just to like get newer cards, ones that I don't really care about collecting anymore, I might pick up a Crystal Lugia because I think it looks really pretty and I'd love to have one. Do links work in your chat? I can post a pic of the type. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Lay it on me. Let's find out what this Charizard is. Now here's something we hope you'll really like. Onix just kind of does scary work against these Pikachu decks if we find a Brock. It's not even that great, right? Like, it still has to two-shot everything. It's not like the weakness matters. It's more like the health and the amount of damage it does matters. Oh, the link didn't show up, Nate. Unlucky. Okay, so we have the Brock. That's pretty cool. Any Charizard princes in the live stream? I don't have a fancy Charizard. I just like I graded and sold all the base set Charizards I had, but they weren't in great condition, so I didn't get a lot for them. I'm surprised my opponent attached active. Maybe they weren't expecting this Brock. That buys me so much time, chat. This Onix is gonna to swing at least twice. Psh. How about those? Yeah, I still can't see him. I guess the link just doesn't work. Do you know the set name? If you know the set they come from, then I would know which Charizard you're talking about. It must be my chat blocks links. That must be it. I've never made that setting for YouTube chat, but that must be what it is, because I can't even see the message where you posted the link. Oh, is this gonna be our Hitmonlee game? That goes to the mansion, we just get to Hitmonlee it. Well, not really important. More curious about Charizard in the meta currently. There is a Charizard EX Terra that is very, very good. Old Charizards don't hold up, right? Because, you know, the game has been so power crapped and they've been rotated out of standard. But the Charizard EX is very good. I was gonna stretch kick that thing. Well, I guess I still will. Because the Machamp can take a hit from the Pikachu. I guess it would be bad if they Sabrina'd up the Machamp first. You love the art on the Hitmonlee? Really is sitting there with its foot.